Mika, an 8-year-old boy with curly hair and wide, fearful eyes, sits on the couch clutching his tattered superhero sketchbook. His knees are pulled to his chest, and his face is pale. The sound of a door opening jolts him. His mother, Thandi, enters the room. She drops her bag and rushes to her son. Mika. Baby. What happened? Are you okay? Who was here? Mika stares at her but says nothing. His silence is heavy, suffocating. A torn drawing on the floor, a superhero with tears falling down his mask. To understand this moment, we must go back to where it began. Sunlight pours into a small township home. Mika is eating porridge at the kitchen table while his mother, Thandi, rushes to prepare for work. Mika was a creative, gentle boy who found comfort in his drawings. He spent hours sketching heroes in worn-out notebooks. Thandi kneels down and looks Mika in the eyes. Mika, listen to Mama. Don't open the door for anyone. Even if they say they know me. Do you hear me? Mika nods obediently. Mr. Felix, their quiet and seemingly friendly neighbor, stands across the street watching. Mr. Felix sips tea outside his shack. His eyes follow Thandi and her husband, Themba, as they leave for work. Mr. Felix was a familiar face, always polite, always helpful. But behind the calm exterior was something darker. Inside his home is a cluttered desk covered in scribbled notes. 8 a.m. Parents leave. 5:30 p.m. Parents return. Mr. Felix smiles to himself. Today would be the day. Mika sits in the living room surrounded by colored pencils and sketches. The house is quiet, and the sun casts sharp shadows on the floor. He glances nervously at the clock. Hours pass. Mika's small hands as he grips his coloring pencil tighter. A sharp knock breaks the silence. Mika freezes. Mika, it's Uncle Felix. Your mom sent me to bring something. It's very important, boy. Mika remembers his mother's words. Mika, hesitant, through the door. My mom said not to open the door. Mr. Felix's voice softens. Ah, Mika. Your mom will be so upset if you don't take this. You're a good boy, aren't you? Just open the door a little. Mika hesitates. His small hand trembles as it reaches the lock. Click. The door creaks open. Mr. Felix steps into the home, his demeanor changing. The warm smile fades, replaced by something cold and sharp. He closes the door behind him and locks it. Good boy, Mika. Now, sit down. Don't make a sound. Do you understand me? Mika nods slowly, tears beginning to well in his eyes. Mr. Felix moves through the small home, rifling through drawers, eating food from the fridge. Mika remains frozen on the couch. Mr. Felix sits next to Mika, placing a heavy arm on the boy's small shoulders. Mika flinches slightly, his hands shaking. The room feels suffocating. Mr. Felix leans in close to Mika's ear. If you tell anyone about today, something bad will happen to your parents. Do you understand me, boy? Mika nods silently, tears dripping down his cheeks. Mr. Felix rises, straightening his shirt and adjusting his belt. Before leaving, he kneels in front of Mika. Remember, not a word to anyone. The door closes softly behind him. Silence fills the air. Mika remains frozen on the couch, clutching his sketchbook. His breathing is shallow. The clock ticks loudly. Time seems to stand still. The front door opens. Thandi rushes inside and finds Mika still sitting in the same spot. She drops her bag and kneels in front of him. Mika. Baby, what happened? Are you hurt? Did someone come in? Mika doesn't respond. His hands grip his sketchbook so tightly that the pages are crumpled. Thandi sits beside Mika on the couch. She gently touches his face, her voice trembling. You can tell Mama. No one will hurt you now. Please, baby. Mika pulls away slightly, staring at the floor. Themba enters the home, confusion and worry on his face. He joins Thandi and Mika on the couch. The silence between them is heavy. Later that night, Thandi finds a drawing in Mika's sketchbook. It shows a small figure sitting on a couch with a dark shadow towering above him. Thandi covers her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Mika asleep as Thandi stares out the window towards Mr. Felix's home, her eyes filled with anger and sadness. No child should ever endure this. No matter how well you teach them, a child cannot outthink a manipulative adult. Mr. Felix didn't break in. He used trust, kindness, and fear to shatter Mika's world. Never leave young children home alone. If unavoidable, have a trusted adult check in frequently. Teach your child to trust no one at the door. Protect your children. Share this story. Awareness saves lives.